Well, hello, Soul family. This is Nicole coming to you from Soulflwr Llc with our podcast called Soul Garden. This is our Other Sheep series, episode 10. Let's get into our disclaimer. As usual, this is not a formal podcast. It is not a religious or spiritual podcast. It's a soul consciousness podcast. That means it includes all living beings. So there's that. The future subjects are for learning and unlearning purposes and for the opportunity of personal growth. We at Soulflwr Llc are not attempting to convert anyone. We're merely lifelong seekers, students on life, and educators. We are not total experts on these topics. This is our sacred service, and I will add something that we are enjoying because I enjoyed the discussions that I have with you. Please take what resonates with you and leave the rest. Resonate means if you feel like it's true for you, then put it in your pocket. If not, keep moving because your pockets are still yours and they still have the same thing in them. Moving on. This is not a podcast for children under the age of 18. Parents, this is your time to shine. Right here. So if this podcast, if you're listening this far in the podcast, and this is your teenager or your little one, this is not for kids. So we letting them know right here. We letting you know. We let you know. All right. Lastly, we we don't reach out to you for services. Don't get scammed. I'm not reaching out to you at all. I only talk to you through this podcast and the platforms that we are on. You know, like the timeline. If you see me in your timeline, that's me reaching out to you. Okay? Uh, I'm not going to send you any messages unless you message me first. Um, we don't own rights to all of the concepts that we're discussing. We don't own rights to the music in the background. We don't own rights to this lovely image that you see here. Shout out to Rudolph 30 for this awesome picture that we're using as a background for our podcast and for educational purposes. So may love, light, and unity be to Rudolph 30 for that. Um, I don't know who's doing the music here. Inner Healing. They have a really nice binaural beat in the background. It's 7.83 hertz. Very calm and soothing. I enjoy it very much. But anyway, moving forward. I don't want my ADD to take over. Welcome to Soul Garden Podcast, brought to you by Soulflwr Llc. This is our Other Sheep series, episode 10. My name is Nicole. My partner's name is Sean. I currently am the facilitator of the podcast. This is our conversation, which is a sacred service to you, about different concepts that will benefit you in your life. Today, we're going to be talking about, well, actually, this is an extension of a conversation that we had last week about the shadow. We talked about, I think we introduced the shadow last week, and now we're talking about the benefits of shadow integration. Shadow integration is when you have done enough work to um, what they say, what they call is own your shadow. That means that everything that you've looked at the majority, because I mean, we're always healing. There's always something to work on, um, realistically speaking. But you've worked on the majority of the things that you have repressed, denied, suppressed, rejected. You have come to terms with and made peace with a lot of your cognitive dissonance, a lot of the things that, a lot of your experiences you've processed, the majority of those experiences, and you can now operate on a more mature level when it comes to you and your personal growth and your life in general. This shadow integration has been one of the best discoveries I've ever had in my entire life. I know that sounds dramatic, but it's true. This work is exceptional. I mean, once you get to, once you've been in the practice of it for a period of time, it's the results of it are invaluable. There's an inner peace that comes with integrating your shadow that I can't even articulate to you. So it is my suggestion and encouragement that you at least consider, be willing, be open to the concept of shadow integration. At least researching it on your own. Don't take our word for it. Don't take my word for it. Go and research these concepts on your own. This is for you. It has nothing to do with me. It has everything to do with what you want to accomplish and what you want to do in your own life. Okay? And what we're saying to you is that if you really want to fucking change some shit, shadow integration is where it's at. Alright? If you're not playing out here, if you're tired of the pain, you're tired of whatever you're tired of, you're tired of being tired, then this is the shit right here. This is what's going to give you the juice. So let's move forward. I'm doing my best to be more conscious of the time. Shadow integration explained. I spraying it a little bit, but here's the black ass bottom line: choosing to face what's uncomfortable, all your uncomfortable experiences, all of them, not the ones that not how we like to compartmentalize. Like we would say, well, we willing to look at this shit, but we're not willing to look at that because we don't want nobody to know about it, or we don't know how to deal with the shit. Now, all of it, a whole. That's what whole mean. All choosing to face uncomfortable experiences in order to become whole. That's your intention. This is what is going to give you the courage to face these uncomfortable experiences, because your intention is to be whole. Your intention is to make sense of the shit for you. Okay? No one else. Just you. It don't have anything to do with anyone else. And that's what the shadow deal with. It deal with you. Alright? And what's happened. Let me go back. Because we need to talk. Oh, no, we don't need to go back. My bad. Benefits. there's nothing but benefits when it comes to shadow integration. I mean, I don't know how to transfer this urgency of how important, how much this helps you, even on an energetic level. You see things as they are, despite what you want them to be, and despite what other people want them to be, or they trying to convince your ass. This the benefit. Number one, that shit right there is the cheat code. It is also a double-edged sword. Don't get it twisted. Everything has its energetic exchange, so to speak. Less projections. You're not blaming other people for your shit. You'll know what's yours and you'll know what's there. Increasing discernment. Absolutely. There is nothing but discernment is all that exists when it comes to shadow integration, because you have the ability to look at something uncomfortable and face it and process it. You gonna That ability alone helps you to see when other people are not processing their shit, and that's intimidating. So you you get this benefit. You get self-led, because there's no after that there's no other person that can lead you other than if you ascribe to it, spirit, source, the universe, God. The truth sets you free instead of you being intimidated by the truth, even when it hurts. Even if it fuck you up, you're gonna take it, because you understand. You went through the process of shadow integration, and you see the benefit of keeping the truth in front of you. Significant personal spiritual growth. You have no idea. You have no idea how much this opens up your world on it seems like on a cellular level. This is where it's at. Complete life ownership. You take responsibility for your life. And I would add, there's an inner peace that comes with this. I mean, it's just invaluable. It's an abundance that you inherit for making the decision, the free will choice to heal. Um, and you don't even have to be spiritual or religious. You just gotta be willing to change, willing to do something different for you. Don't do something different because somebody else told you that's what you need to do. You do it for you. When you're the standard, then all the other need to compete, then you lose that shit. Because you realize there is no competition other than you. All right, let's move on. All right, here's some practices that will assist you once you do the research about the shadow. Get a foundation. Find out what a concept means first. Just don't jump in the water. You don't jump into anything, but you don't jump in. That's like jumping in the water and not being able to swim, like deep water. So these concepts, you approach them by researching and gaining a foundation first, a knowledge first. Knowledge base is the foundation. Then you step out and start to see look into these practices. A long time. That is going to be your best friend when it comes to uh, doing your due diligence for shadow integration. I call it shadow mastery practice. Um, the long time is good because you have to practice vulnerability, and the best person to trust with your vulnerability is yourself first. So uh, those two things are integral to shadow mastery, shadow healing. Your rage sessions, your grief sessions, self compassion, being willing to see what's uncomfortable, acknowledging your strengths. That's a huge one. You wouldn't think it would be, but a lot of us, in particular, those of us that fall in the other sheep category, we don't acknowledge our strengths. Other people acknowledge our strengths, but they use those strengths against us instead of encouraging us to continue to practice them because they feel intimidated by our strengths. Inner child healing, that's the goat. That's that's integral to shadow integration practice. Time in nature, very good for you. I know some of us don't like bugs. We're allergic to outside. What we call outside, but the reality of the matter is outside heals us. So find a way to be outside. Therapy. A lot of cultures don't teach um, therapy as a healing practice. Therapy is a healing practice. If you need to go to AA, go to AA. If you need to go to the other A's, go to them. But do it for you. Nothing is going to get off the ground until you realize you got to do it for you. The only one that can change you is you. Everyone else can only inspire and influence you. All right? So, uh, getting you a safe space where you can be vulnerable, where you can do all of these things. That's important. And those are things to think through. What's comfortable for you? Don't be intimidated by the questions that you have to ask yourself. Just be willing to ask and be willing to hear the answer in a safe space where you can respond the way that you need to respond for you. All right? So that's all we got to say about shadow integration practices. All right. Again, here's the resources they kind of rolled over. Journaling. Oh, yeah. You got to journal, y'all. I know we don't like to write. Some of us don't like to read. And that's cool. Find what works for you. There are different types of ways to do all of this shit that's on the screen here. All right. For instance, journaling. You don't have to write. You can talk to the video if you want to. You can just record yourself talking if you want to. All right. You can just type on your phone. They have electronic journals. If you don't want to write it out, you want it to be more personal to you. You know, you're worried about somebody reading your shit. All right? Self-discovery things like go do a personality test. Learn about yourself just like you would learn about somebody that you're interested in. You need to do that shit for you. Astrology study. You know, you don't have to believe in it, but it does have some truth in it. There's a concept called gleaning. And like I spoke about in the beginning, let's take it what resonates, what is for you, and then leaving the rest. Inner child healing. Therapists can help you with that. Life coaches can help you with that. We most certainly can help you with that. But I do advocate that you do your own research about this shit. All right? We got to stop allowing other people to tell us who we are. It is our responsibility. Responsibility. Break that damn word down. Response. Ability. The ability to respond. It is yours as an individual. If you say you're grown, this is a part of being grown. Owning your shit is most certainly being grown. There is a difference between being an adult and being grown. Being an adult is reaching the biological age of 18 or the age of, whatever your culture determines that you are old enough to be on your own, to seek shelter, your own shelter, your own food, your own biological needs. That's being an adult. But being grown is more than that. It's leading a self-led life and doing what it takes to heal for you and only you. All right? So this is therapy, journaling, personality tests, self-compassion. Very important. People in the other C category, we tend to beat ourselves up. That is not helping us at all. As a matter of fact, you're your own bully a lot of times. And we have to step out of that. And self-compassion is the way to do that. It is not noble to beat yourself up for your mistakes. Your mistakes are showing you where you need to adjust, not where you need to kick yourself where you're already down. Mirror practice. We spoke about that. That's going to show you. That's a good measure of your shadow. Your shadow mastery progress. Before I started, right when I started shadow work, when I found out about shadow work, it might have been a little bit before. I went through a divorce and I went through this depression. A lot of people that have went through divorces can relate to this. I'm pretty sure a great deal of them can. I went through this depression and it was one of the lowest points of my life. And that's when I started doing the Louise Hay version of mirror practice. And I remember I came up with it. Well, I didn't come up with affirmation because I didn't believe I even deserved to exist at that time. I had a lot of self hatred, but so I was doing the mirror practice and the affirmation. One of my first affirmations was I love and accept myself. It took me, I think, even 3 days to even get the entire affirmation out. It was incredibly challenging. And now I can say I love you to myself without even thinking twice about it. And this is the difference between before shadow integration and then after shadow integration. And I'm not talking about just looking at the mirror practice is just looking at yourself and saying I love and accept myself, and it's a surface level thing. You're just saying it because someone told you to say it, or you really want to feel that way. No, it's the truth. I love and accept myself. And that's what mirror practice, true mirror practice, does. When you really set your intentions with these tools, they work. When you work the tools heal you. So hopefully you have had time to like screenshot some of this shit. I mean, they're really great concepts. All of these concepts, I practice all of this, and it's a great balance. It's a great balance. I am so grateful, and my intention is for those of you that have been hurting to at least consider these things, and they're all free. You know, Soulflwr is a business, but all of this shit is free. All of this shit. There's people everywhere talking about these concepts. You know what I'm saying? I'm not on this joint to make money. I'm on this joint for the people that need healing, because I know that the people that need healing, that it's all types. There's just people that have money and people that don't. So, for everyone, this is for you. These things help. Just get started. That's all you gotta do. Do your research. Get started and research it as you go. Trust yourself. You got this. All right. So now it is time for our energy report, and we're gonna pull a self-mastery card. So this week we have a full moon, and I think some people say it's today, some people say it's Monday. We're in the full moon phase is what I'm gonna tell you. Full moon do stretch out 3 days. They stretch out uh, because it's the full moon is out these days. Usually out, I think it's like 3 days. You can see the moon. The moon is full. In 3 days, you can see the moon is new before they start going into other phases. So, um, I don't know when officially the full moon is. I'm not gonna ask Alexa. I don't know if we got Alexa or Echo in this joint. Matter of fact, I don't even see. My wife moves things around all the time, and it's great for energy, but it is a grind for remembering what shit is. But anyway, we're just gonna keep moving forward. So the energy report, full moon, Capricorn. We're in this season in Capricorn, so the full moon's in Capricorn, and what they're saying that we need to work on, and it's from the astrology resource. Uh, it's time to bring light to our wounds and make peace with our past and our impulses. It's time to face the reality of certain conditions and surrender to life and open our hearts again. Surrender means to cease resistance. So it's time for us to stop resisting life and open our hearts again and make peace with our past. Make peace with all the heavy bullshit that has happened in our experience with life. We are coming up on a new age now, a new time, a new season. So it's an excellent time to do something new. Alright. It's a time to look at our wounds, to grieve, to sorrow, to be vulnerable. It's a time to admit our innocence. We don't do that a lot because the world tells us we're not innocent. But we are. Our innocence is our purity. It is time to face what we have been avoiding in our lives. Things that give us the urge to escape. So that kind of goes back to the energy report where it says that basically all our coping mechanisms are not going to work. We're going to be forced to face shit this year. So uh, I guess this is our review of that. It's I got some notes here. Let go of the illusion that we could do something outside of facing what we need to face, so that it'll go away. So it's not going to go away by the temporary shit that we're doing. And even though the temporary things work well, we still got to face the shit. So you might as well go on and face it. And this is the year to face it. This is the time to face the shit that you ain't been facing. That stuff that you know you need to be dealing with now, but you've been putting it off and putting it off and putting it off. And the situation is getting worse and worse and worse. That's the shit that the energy report is talking about. It's time to face this shit. Alright? Stop giving people chances that then stabbed you in the back 1,000 times. Then it's time for you to do an honest review of that. And if you gotten out of that, congratulations. See things for what they are. That's what the energy report is about. The self-mastery card flows right with the conversation of the day and the energy report. It's called being direct. Today I will own my own power and be direct. And I will be clear and honest in my dealings with other people. If I'm comfortable with my own truth, then those around me will be comfortable with me too. Absolutely. If they're not, remove yourself. You are not a tree. Trees are awesome beings. But we are not that. We have legs. We can move on and move forward. Well, y'all, that concludes our Soul Garden Podcast episode 10, the Other Sheep series. The topic was shadow integration. Please like, share, and subscribe to this. And visit our website, www.soulflwrllc.com. Also visit us on Facebook. We're on YouTube. And we're getting ready to get on a couple of more platforms. We have an email in case you want to communicate with us. It is soulflowerInc@gmail.com. I'll make sure to put all that information in the description box. Well, we're seeing love, light, and unity to you. And until the next time, y'all live free and die well.